On behalf of Publishers Weekly and the U.S. Book Show, I hope today's program has helped shed some light on some of the key issues librarians face as we move forward in this complex, uncertain post-pandemic environment. I know that there's so much more to talk about, and we at Publishers Weekly remain committed to keeping the work of libraries front and center, both within our coverage of the publishing industry and in terms of the central role librarians play in our reading culture at large and in our democracy. I want to thank all of our participants today who shared their valuable perspectives, and we want to thank all of you for spending some time with us today. And we thank you for the important work that you do every day in your communities. On a final note, all of these programs are archived and will be available on the U.S. Book Show site. And also, please mark your calendars and join us tomorrow night right back here at 6:45 for a special live edition of the Friends in Fiction group, hosted by best-selling authors Mary Kay Andrews, Kristen Harmel, Christy Woodson Harvey, and Patty Callahan Henry. If you're already a participant in the Friends in Fiction online community, well, you know how much fun these programs are. And if not, please join us for what will surely be another super fun program. Scheduled guests will include authors Tia Williams and TJ Newman. And with that, I'm delighted to introduce our final speaker for today. Congressman Jamie Raskin, a constitutional lawyer by training, has proudly represented Maryland's 8th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives since 2017. And in that time, he has become a leading voice in the defense of our democracy, including serving as lead manager of the second impeachment of Donald Trump following the January 6th insurrection, and now serving on the Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. In April, and again just last week, Raskin held hearings on the alarming rise of book banning and educational gag orders. And in Jamie Raskin, the library community has a defender who truly understands the important work libraries do and is standing up for our diverse communities and for the freedom to read. Jamie Raskin is also the author of one of the most remarkable books I've ever read, the #1 New York Times bestseller, Unthinkable: Trauma, Truth, and the Trials of American Democracy. Please welcome Congressman Jamie Raskin.
Hey everybody, it's Congressman Jamie Raskin coming to you from Maryland's beautiful 8th Congressional District. I want to say hello to all my friends at Publishers Weekly and thank you for allowing me to participate in the Libraries Are Essential program. And we know that libraries are indeed essential as a fountain of access to public knowledge, and they are critical and instrumental for purposes of civic engagement, like voter registration and finding out information about COVID-19 vaccinations. And they are essential to the transmission of basic civic and constitutional values. I want to just tell you a quick story about what my last week was like, because I got canceled in two different significant ways. One was Vladimir Putin put me on a list of several hundred Americans who he said would be permanently banned from Russia for our activities opposing his filthy war in the Ukraine, in the sovereign nation of Ukraine against the people there. But also I learned that the effort to ban a book I wrote called We the Students in Texas has borne fruit, and that it has been targeted for removal from all public schools. We the Students is a book that I wrote that was sponsored by the Supreme Court Historical Society about all the Supreme Court decisions that affect young people in public schools, like locker searches, drug testing, censorship of school newspapers and yearbooks, prayer in the classroom, prayer on the football field, Title IX, gender equity, students with disabilities. All of these things are in the book, and the Supreme Court Historical Society was able to access for me photographs of a lot of the students and teachers and principals involved. In any event, the book is designed just as a resource for young people and a teaching tool for social studies and history teachers to get young people acquainted with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and to get them thinking about it. And for some reason, the book banners have settled upon We the Students as one of the books that they want to ban. And both of these things have made me think about how book banning and removing books from the library are so closely connected to other mechanisms of authoritarian control. And so that movements and political parties and candidates that start out by trying to ban books will very quickly get to the point where Vladimir Putin is banning people from appearing in his society, from visiting his country, and then, of course, trying to steal other people's freedom in other countries through military invasion and authoritarianism. The American Library Association recorded in 2021 729 different attempts to remove 1,600 books from school and public libraries, which is the highest number they've found in 2 decades of tracking this data. And we've seen everything from Ruby Bridges Goes to School to Beloved by Toni Morrison to Lord of the Flies by William Golding, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, Mouse. All of these books have been targeted for removal. Ironically, also 1984 is a very frequent target of censorship in the schools and in the public libraries as well. So we're seeing a full-blown effort to purge society of certain ideas that are considered subversive. A lot of them have to do with sexuality. A lot of them have to do with confronting America's real history of racism and violent white supremacy, dispossession and destruction of Indian communities. And all of this tells us why it's so important to stand by the libraries, stand by the people who are guarding the transmission of our literary and civic and constitutional values in the country. I was very proud to have worked on funding for the libraries during the COVID-19 crisis. And I'm fighting now for $200 million in funding for the Library Services and Technology Act. And I want to thank all of you for working to defend a powerful intellectual infrastructure in the country to go along with a powerful physical infrastructure in the country. And all of us need to be resisting efforts to win political power and win economic power and win power over other people through the control of ideas and through the manipulation of consent by censorship of particular points of view and particular books and articles and so on. So I just want to thank all of my friends at Publishers Weekly for standing strong for strong democracy, which means a democracy that thrives on freedom and discourse, debate, inquiry, discussion, facts, science, literature, and art. Thank you for standing up for everything. And I hope that you have a terrific conference. And I'm sorry I just can't be there with you in person. All best. Hang tough, everybody.
Thank you, Congressman Jamie Raskin, and thank you to everyone who participated in today's Libraries Are Essential program. We look forward to seeing you back here next year for the 2023 U.S. Book Show. Thank you.